Hello, good people. Welcome back to the Kuhb Games YouTube channel. I bring you all some fantastic news today, and that is GOAT format is not dying. Never was, but I never gave my opinion on the original Konami announcement as far as the Time Wizard rules change, but since we got a brand new announcement just a few minutes ago, as of the time of recording this, I thought I would bring you all the good news, which is kind of a reversal. A lot of people have asked me in comments on some of the videos or in some messages or whatever what my opinions are on this. I wasn't going to make a video, or I guess I didn't make a video on the original announcement, but here I am to bring the good news. But in case you all are unaware of, what this is even about, which some people didn't see the announcement, Konami announced that they were going to be changing the rules of Time Wizard formats or retro formats, whatever you want to call them, GOAT, Edison, Tengu, on down the line. The first part of the announcement is here. Time Wizard events use the available cards forbidden and limited list rule regarding drawing on the first turn and the dueling field of the selected Time Wizard format. So no changes there. But here's where a lot of people got a little bit angry. Starting at the NAWCQ, current game mechanics and current card text will be used for Time Wizard formats. And what this would mean for not just GOAT format, but this is a GOAT format channel. What this would mean for GOAT format is player priority would be gone. Rulings would not work how they did in 2005, so you wouldn't have to preemptively flip like Royal Oppression, stuff like that. So you get full powered Royal Oppression at 3. That's pretty nuts. Exiled Force, you can trap hole it and it can't activate its effect, or you can Book of Moon it and it can't activate its effect as Chainlink 1. Book of Moon gets a lot better, stuff like that. And then the current card text. Do you know how many cards in GOAT format have had power level erratas? Like, just to name a few: Sinister Serpent, Ring of Destruction, Sangan. Like, all of those cards would have been so much worse. DMOC, my beloved DMOC deck would have died. You wouldn't be able to do the DMOC loop. I would have been so sad. But yeah, like, this announcement originally would have, like, if we went by these rules, this announcement would have completely changed what GOAT format would have looked like. Now, these rules only apply to Ultimate Time Wizard tournaments. So, and like OTS locals for GOATs originally. Konami actually softened their stance on that before they made this new announcement. But GOATformat.com and FL Format Library had both put out some announcements that, we were going to push forward with how we'd always run GOAT format, which was historically accurate to 2005, which is, how we've been playing GOAT format forever. So these rules weren't ever going to pertain to any of like the PWCQs, the GFCs, the FLCs, the GGPs, or anything like that. But it could have impacted the OTS stores and their locals, and it could have, had some sort of an impact on the GOAT format local scene, which could have, hindered growth and stuff like that. So overall, I think most people thought that this was going to be a net negative. It would be kind of interesting, to see, what exactly would happen to GOAT format, because it would be such a gigantic shakeup. But yeah, most people, I think, were pretty upset by this. They didn't like the idea. We want to keep playing GOAT format how we've been playing GOAT format, and we didn't really want Konami to just jump in and stop that and completely upend the format for no reason and, cause more confusion, because there could be some people trying to get into the format from some of the newer formats, and they're like, oh, sweet, we get to play with the current rules and the current errata. I know all of that. And then they join the GOATformat.com Discord server, and they're like, wait, this stuff doesn't work like that. So my initial reaction to this was like, well, this is not this is not a great idea. This isn't how I want to play GOAT format, but it's only going to affect the Ultimate Time Wizard events. I'm probably not going to play any of those anyway, so it wouldn't affect me personally, but it could potentially hinder growth with like the OTS stores and the local GOAT scene and stuff like that. So I wasn't very happy about this announcement, but the people spoke out. The people emailed Konami. The stores emailed Konami, and they let their voices be heard, and Konami has listened. And here is the new update that we have received from Konami. As you can see up here in orange with some asterisks, we have updated, and down here with some asterisks, we have new. So this new update reads, Time Wizard events will use the game mechanics and card text of the era in question at the NAWCQ 2025. This is an update to an earlier FAQ. In the future, we will offer the TCG version of Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel's time travel format, which uses current mechanics and card text but older card pools. Both Time Wizard and time travel will be offered at the OTS level. So this does a couple of things. It leaves Time Wizard alone, and it allows the OTS level to offer whatever they want. So if the players want to play Time Wizard, cool. They get to play the Time Wizard format. They get to play the retro formats historically accurate to their time, or they can play the time travel format. So if you have, a bunch of people at your locals and they're like, we actually want to play with the updated rulings, updated card text, and all that stuff, cool, you can do that as well. So they're not going to punish OTS stores that are like, all of our players want to play the historically accurate version of the format like they have been forever, and they're just going to let them do that. So that's pretty awesome. Going forward at the major events, Konami, it looks like, is only going to be offering the time travel format, but, whatever. We get to keep our GOAT format, our Edison, our retro formats at our local level, and we still get to play them in goatformat.com events and format library events, and wherever any store, including the OTS stores, non-OTS stores, whatever tournament that they want to offer for GOAT or any of the other retro formats. So this is really cool. Very, very happy to see that there was a change, especially on the OTS level, so we can keep growing GOAT format at the OTS level. I think that's pretty crucial. We want to get people out there playing the game. I know a lot of this format is played online. A lot of the community is online across the world, but getting people into their local game stores to play GOAT, it's just awesome. It helps the growth. It is still going to cause a little bit of confusion whenever people are looking at the major tournaments and they see the time travel format. And things are just going to be completely different between the time travel format and the Time Wizard format, especially with GOAT format. I don't know, how much of a shakeup it is for some of the other formats, but I'm very happy that Time Wizard continues to get to be its thing, and the local game stores are allowed to give whichever format that their players want, and that we can keep, the Time Wizard format around, the one that's historically accurate to its time. So, I'll give Konami some credit. They made a decision that, not a lot of people liked, but they did listen to the backlash, and in just a couple of days, they made a change. And they said, people like to play the Time Wizard formats like this. Even though we want to move forward with the time travel format, we will allow the people who are playing the game this way to continue to play the game the way that they want to. And that is quite big. So I'll give Konami some props there, but also shout out to everybody who reached out to Konami in whatever way, the players, the stores, whoever. Shout out to all of you all who made your voice heard so that Konami would come to a decision so that we could keep our Time Wizard format and our GOAT format how we want it. Hopefully this is a sign of good things to come in the future. Konami is just gonna let people run their Time Wizard formats, how they want to, and there's not going to be a whole lot of pressure from them, and we can just kind of, keep going, keep growing the community, and making GOAT as big as it possibly can. But that's about all I've got for this. Happy that GOAT can still be played the way that, I personally think that it's meant to be played, historically accurate to 2005, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be back with the next one.